Right, so let's have a look, shall we, at this case. So everything from now on is going to be in the real time, but obviously for this thingy I've undone these bolts. Try and have a look what the Allen key actually says on it. Doesn't, but I'm hoping that could give you a rough idea what you're working with. But basically you've got three of them put them to one side. Now sometimes what you may find, if its cover's never been off, I think the moisture and the heat off the casing makes the foam, I'll show you here, the foam stick. So basically I had to really pull it and it stopped about there, and it was like, like peeling a massive sticker off. And as you can see, I think that's what happens, it just gets stuck. Now if you're really thinking with it, you can buy new foam for it, but that is prohibitively expensive and probably not really worth it. But as you see, you've got obviously metal casing, 8mm bolts around here. Now I'm using a 3/8 ratchet with an adapter on, so because obviously at 8mm there, that's known as quarter drive. Now they're not very tight, they're only around about 10 Newton meters, but still it's enough with the quarter drive. A quarter drive is very small. 3/8 is quite nice, it's quite a nice size on most bikes. I mean there is bigger stuff like, as I was saying down here, with your engine bolt, you're more suited to a 1/2 inch. But so as I say, we've got what, 1, 2, where we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 9, 10, half a dozen or so covers holding the casing on. I think there's one here in the middle, a long one. But what we want to do now is take the variator filter off. Again, 8mm, just crack them loose. As you can see, they're not very tight. Look at that. And that's about 10, I would say that's about 10 Newton meters, which is probably just a little bit more than what finger tight would be. As I say, just undo these. Just keep, no, as I say, either bag stuff or keep note of it. One. See if I can get this one out. I'll try and make the video as short as possible, but as I said, I am going to try and keep this video real time because I want you to really see what I'm doing. And obviously the cover didn't really, I mean, other than 3 bolts and getting stuck, that's not really a thing to be wasting some time over. But this stuff, I mean, it's ideal. I mean, sometimes if they are loose but you can't quite get them out, say just take it off the end of your socket. I mean, you can use an extension bar for here if you wanted to. I'm just trying to make things as quick as possible, really. You may see pauses in the video, but that is just merely where I'm editing the video between times. So anyway, we've pulled the variator filter off. Yeah, so that's your variator in there, as you can see. Now in here there is a replaceable O-ring. Now I have seen one in the bike when I bought it, but I'm hoping you can see this. Can you see what I mean there? Yeah, you've got an O-ring. That, when that gets worn and compressed like that, that does want replacing. I will have to have a look. I don't think there is a filter element in these. Can't quite remember. But as I say, it's quite a simple thing. Obviously the air blows in there, keeps the heat out of it. If you do need to go into it for whatever reason, obviously the little screw there. and it's just clipped there at the bottom, but we don't really need that. So focusing back on the casing, so what we're looking at now, look at that nice shiny bolt. Got to take all these little 8mm out. So put my socket wrench back on, just watch them, they're not very tight, see what I mean? But you don't want to be really tight on these, because I mean it's an aluminium casing. You know, you go too ham with these, you're just going to strip your threads. You don't want to be stripping threads. So yeah, just watch me crack the nuts, crack the bolts. Very easy, all the way round. Whoa. Yeah, as you say, as you can see, obviously I haven't got much clearance, but if you put an extension bar on, quite an easy little thing really to do. As you can see down here, you've got your outer case drain, if it gets any water and crap in it and whatnot, which it probably will. But yeah. So as I say guys, as you can see, it is pretty easy. It's not a hard thing to do. And other than that one, are we going to reach it? Yeah, we'll reach it. That's quite good. So yeah, we're just going to now just spin these bolts out. Again, just take it off the ratchet. Just trying to speed it up a little bit for you. I mean, as I say, I mean a lot of YouTubers would generally cut this scene because it'd be quite thingy. I suppose if you thingy, you'll skip forward on the video. But yeah, I say it's pretty straightforward. 8mm. They're just, I generally think, I think they're all the same length. Yeah, they're all the same. I think they're the same length. They look it, don't they? I really hope so. But yeah, what I said, we'll just spin these out. Now, if memory serves me right, when I did Rita's as on here, can you see at the top there? Inside they've got like metal dowel pegs that sort of just hold it to the casing. Because even when you take this casing off, all the bolts out, it won't naturally fall off. Unless for some strange reason it shouldn't do. As I say guys, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to provide you a full long video of thing, so it gives you an idea sort of roughly what time procedure you're looking at. You know, and just really be like technically stood with me, you know, but obviously the other end of the camera. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying your journeys with your Forzas and whatnot. They're bringing you much joy again, you're out there. I mean, as I say, we've just experienced 8 inches of snow here in Wales. Going to be interesting going to work. I mean, I'm not going to risk life and limb, but if I can't get there, I will. I'm not too fussed. End of the day, it's one of them, innit? But yeah, as I say, if you get bored, obviously you can move the video along. But for those that are really curious, I want to see this in real time as to what lies beneath this cover. And obviously you'll stick with me. So let's explore. Unbelievable amount of bolts. Yeah, so you planning going anywhere, you guys, on holiday this year with your Forzas? I'm thinking of trying to take this one to Scotland. I think that's going to be my plan. I shall. Are we there? Are we there, he says. Let's have a look. That's looking like all bolts to me. Now this is where it could get stuck. Let's give it a try, shall we? Oh, wait a minute. You're saying to me, hey, what about that middle one? Exactly. That would help, wouldn't it? So we don't take this metal one out. Middle one, should I say. I'm hoping this ain't going to be too stuck. Because if it is, then I may have to pause the video for just for all the very time consuming stuff. I will pause the video as such. That's not now, it's the same length. So let's give it a pause, shall we? See what happens. Maybe, is it connected to that? No, it's not. So I think what we'll do now, we'll just give it a little pry. Right, let's see what we've got. So all I'm doing now is just sort of putting a screwdriver behind where I can, just to see where. This is what I'm saying. Sometimes, I mean, if they're regularly maintained, oh, can you hear that? It's moving. There we go. Just be careful when you're doing this, because obviously you don't want to break stuff. But yeah, as I was saying with Rita, she got stuck. Let's see if I can pry it again for you. There's basically a metal dowel here. I'm hoping you can see that. She gets stuck in there. So I'm just making sure, hoping there's nothing behind that airbox. That airbox is connected to the other side of the case. Now, what you might find, let me just make sure I'm looking at the right things here. What you might find is here, you've got a bearing on the other side. Now, when that fails, sometimes it can put pressure on that bearing that's behind here, because basically there's a spindle on your clutch. Sometimes it could probably get stuck on that. Now, I wouldn't recommend this. You should use a rubber mallet. I can't see mine. Live to regret this decision, but just little taps. So, whoa. See what I mean, guys? Gives you a real good eye sense of time. Now, there we go, we are moving. We are moving. Sorry if my head's in the way. I can't see any screws there. What I'll do, guys, because that will get quite boring for you, I'll just pause it here and I'll come back when I've got the cover off. Right, after a good 30 minutes or more, I'm there prying around it and everything. Now, there was one which didn't look like one, right in there. Suffered a right amount of corrosion. Look at that. To blast it out with brake cleaner and everything. Here I am with screwdrivers, you know, getting it a little bit marred in edges there. But that's what I say. Sometimes these are great when they're new. They've been on a while. Now this, to me, this is a clear indication this belt has not been changed. It just wouldn't be that difficult from 16,000 to just under 21. You just wouldn't have that level of corrosion. That is 21,000 miles. But less talking, let's have a look, shall we? Now, when you do replace your thingy, oh, the metal collar fell out of that. Put that back in. Might have to look at rethreading that. But basically, you've got a metal gasket around there. You'll probably have to replace that. And then basically, this is what you've got. This is the bearing I was on about. Well, there is a bearing in here, but there's also a bearing here. Now let's see if we can spin that. That one doesn't feel notchy, it's just dry. So basically this is your drive belt, your your fixed pulley, your variators behind it, and then obviously your clutch. So, as I said, I'm going to do it in real time. I'm going to show you the impact socket. Now, if you haven't got an impact wrench, there is a holding tool. I will show you that. Just bear with me. So as I was saying, if you don't have an impact driver like that, that's sort of what you need. That's a clutch holding tool. So basically you've got two holes there, and they would generally line up nicely in there. Now you're normally supposed to hold it. I generally just put it under the clutch bell, and from that point you would be able to crack the thing anti-clockwise loose. What I'll do, I don't think the impact will make much sense moving that, but I'll leave it there. From what I can see here, this is a 24mm socket, and we're going to basically give that a few ugger duggers, and hopefully that will come off. Shall we give it a try? So onto there. Typical bloody cheap wrench. When you don't want to spend money but you want a cheap impact driver. Huh. Come on. That's why you don't pay 20 quid. I don't know whether it's the actual drill itself or whether, to be honest, that's the battery. But if I'm not going to have any joy, you're probably actually going to see me cheat anyway. Well, that was rather embarrassing, but so we'll use this old tried and tested method, shall we? Alright. 1/2 inch. Now it's amazing, isn't it? That can remove the bolt out of the engine, and it can remove the bloody front wheel. But never mind. It is what it is. So anti-clockwise up against the belt. There we go. Now you can use 3/8, but as you can see, a 1/2 inch socket, it's just got so much leverage. So basically we'll undo that great wacky nut. 24mm, unbelievable. There is a washer here, just sort of keep them together. Now this will move obviously as you pull your tool away sometimes, sorry. Just pull that. Oh dear, that's my fault. That's my fault for the case getting stuck. But so yeah, basically that is free from there. I'll show you the variator whilst we're here. Good thing I've got the replacement parts. Wow, 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 they've not been changed. Wow, are we ready? Ooh, wow, ooh, wow, that one's cooked. Have you seen such a bearing? Roller wheel. Wow. Ah, wow. Oh, they've got some distortion. Ooh. Yep. Just look at the state of that. That has gone. That's what happens when you exceed your service. What they say. The plastic jacket is clearly sheared off of that, and then because it's no longer the correct size, look at that. How it's gouged that to pieces. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, look at all that mud. Well, belt crud. That's original belt. Anyone? Honda. Yep. That's original. Wow. That is impressive. I thought I'd seen some worn rollers. That one's next level. And I wonder if that's damaged the variator. It's amazing what abuse they will take. I mean, it's got a bit of charring. I actually do wonder sometimes, wasn't that probably marked there? But yeah, so that is that. Let me get this one off. Alright, let's see if we can impact this clutch bell off. Come on, baby. Did you see the amount of muck that come out of there? Again, we've got a washer and a nut. That's why you have to do your servicing. Just look at the muck there. Look at that. But that's a good clutch. There's no severe wear in that, really. Let's put that with that. And basically, you now pull your clutch off. So, it's straight off the shaft. Wow. That clutch bearings put some heat in the shaft. So we'll just have a look at the belt to begin with. Yeah, can you see all that cracking? Look at that. That is why you have to change your belt. That's original. That's never been changed in its life. Now, if I can get the wheel off the floor, I'll try and show you before I show you this clutch bearing. Oh, everything can't move around here. So, can you hear it now? Other than, let me try and, oh, the rag is just holding it. But you remember the clutch bearing noise I was telling you about? Right. Well, other than that, that's brake. But there's no now grinding noise. And that's why I was telling you about clutch bearing. So, I'll show you. Let me get back down that floor. Right. So, as I say, clutch bearings in here. Now, yeah. yeah, I can feel it's completely split. Trying to look at through the light, through the camera. Hope you can see that, guys. Somebody's tried calling me. Yeah, that's loose, that needle bearing. That's not clever. Get really down here into this other bearing. Yeah, I can feel a split in the bearing. It's like the casing of the bearing split. But basically what I was trying to say, guys, is when you... Oh yeah. Yeah, you can feel graunchiness on that. Definitely. But what I was saying is about the spring compressor is, as you can see, that's a fairly chunky spring in there. I don't think that, I mean, that looks stock to me. Look at that. So what I was trying to say is, your spring compressor basically clamps around there to take this nut off. If I was, which I'm not going to somehow hold this, well, no, I would actually have to hold that, the whole entire clutch pack. That basically lifts all that clutch assembly away. The spring will come out, that will come out, and then at that point, I think you access the bearing from the back. Let me just shoot the brake cleaner. Alright, let's have a look. So have a look, shall we? Let's move a bit of crud out this way. Just having a look, see how she's put together. There should be a circlip somewhere. Yeah, I think... No. So basically I would have to undo the clutch pack and gain into the access that way. There is like a circlip there and then there's a thingy. But I will show you that at a later point of how this clutch bearing comes out. Obviously I am trying to currently buy one of these. They're not the cheapest of things. I mean, I'm a bit of a Yorkshireman, so 40 quid, I mean, I'm a bit wanting to thingy. But yeah, so that's how it all comes to pieces. Say it's got a bit of wear here where it's cooked on the bearing. But I mean, other than that, yeah. So that's the ins and outs of a Forza. And basically what you would do at this point is just get some cloth, microfiber cloth or whatever, just really just clean all that muck up, wipe it all out. See what I mean? Not brought me other brake cleaner again, but I know. So that gives you an idea, guys, basically what it entails. Now, obviously, the fixing it, as you can imagine, is the same principle. You basically put it back in reverse. So, well, in the same order, really. I mean, you're seeing, obviously, not everyone's going to have a clutch bearing issue. It is a problem on Forzas. But, as I say, you would generally swap your belt over. But no, put your belt into there. Put that back onto your shaft, so to speak. Can you see what I mean? That's the noise. Basically you would put your belt on. Obviously I have got new rollers. You basically would clean that out with brake cleaner, drop your 6 roller weights into there, your cover. Now, considering how much damage that one sustained, I may replace them, just for the sheer stress and stress it's had. But yeah, so sort of just either replace these as well, your sliding pieces, clean this up. Obviously you'll put your weights into there. You'll put your weights into there. Obviously you will have to gingerly balance it. They will basically sit back into there. You will hold, obviously you've got your centre shaft, which fits into there. You will hold that, don't let go of it, otherwise your weights will fall out. And you'll thread it back onto there. Obviously you've got your belt wrapped around there. You just lift your belt onto there. Make sure everything's clean. This is not a good example when you're putting it back together. Hence why I'm not going to show you the reassembly part. But it gives you an idea of how it comes to bits. And obviously what you've seen, your reverse process. But basically it has to be a clean environment. Obviously my hands are not the best example at the minute. But you basically would put your belt back on, put your nut back on there and such like. So I hope this has give you a rough idea, guys. The light's now disappeared on my phone, so that's now saying time to wrap the video up. So again, thank you for watching this little short video. I will part 8, I think what we'll do, part 8 we'll mock the engine into the back. We just need to get this sorted, and we need to get that spark plug just before we fully really commit into getting it to the frame, so to speak. Okay, sorry if I've been a bit rambly again. I hope that gives you an explanation on how to undo your casing off your belt, how to, well, as you can hear, find and diagnose a dodgy clutch bearing. That's definitely dodgy, as you can hear. And for whatever you do, please replace your belt and rollers at the said 16,000 miles, because oh man, I'm still amazed how that's like that. But anyway, thank you very much. If you like this channel, please consider subscribing, and I'll speak to you again soon, guys. Thanks, bye.